You still in for the next one?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, this is the Area Planning Commission. We have lots of things to discuss in a short amount of time. So, oh, Tom is here. Woohoo, Tom. Kyle's here. We've got all the people.
What's he do? He's on this committee.
Hey, you gotta be up here for the,
Oh, I am?
yeah. This is yours.
Where am I?
You can't vote on that.
So the only person we're missing this evening is
We need
Denise.
to sit.
Everybody else is here.
Which would you like to take up first? First, will you get called to order?
Oh, I call the meeting to order at 4:32.
Okay. And of the four things that I had to talk about, which would you like to start with?
Do we want to start with who the most people are here for, which would maybe be the property on 6th Street?
The
The
apartments?
apartments. Mhm. And they're here
So-
too, so that way they meet.
This will be.
So that would have been email 1, correct? I believe.
I'm not sure about that.
No.
No, it's not. Okay, my bad, sorry.
This will be the hearing on the Attica Apartments petition to rezone. And,
Oh, I see it. Email 2.
okay, and what this is about, there are two locations across the street basically from each other. And one is already zoned R3, the other one is zoned R2. They both need to be R3 to have a 3-story building and parking on them. And so.
The one where the church is currently located though is already zoned R3, so we are not messing with that one, correct?
I'm not, to be honest with you, of those 3 parcels, I'm not sure which one is the one, but all
Okay.
3 of them are gonna end up R3 if you vote to approve it, and then the city council goes through with it as well.
Okay.
And so is there someone here on behalf of the apartments, or is that?
Right here.
Okay, can you stand up, state your name, please?
My name is James Wilson. I'm with Crestline Development.
Okay, I gotta write this down.
Hi, James, thanks for coming in. We know it's a drive for you.
Okay, and so can you, I told you my version of what I thought you were asking for, but can you tell the plan commission what you're asking the rezoning for?
Absolutely. So you were correct in that we are looking to rezone the smaller of the 2 parcels. The church is already R3. The other site is R2, and we're asking to go to R3. The site would contain 3 units, and I think that's why it needs the R3 versus the R2. I think if there were 2 units, it would have qualified, kind of the way it's structured now. As you know, the site is in compliance with the comprehensive plan. It meets the housing goals for the city.
Small property.
We have pursued a number of different financing vehicles throughout the state to garner support for the project. And we're very excited and hope to begin soon. So,
I just have a question on that smaller lot. Is that going to be a 3-story or is that going to be a lower story with parking?
No, it's actually a 3-story.
It's a
building.
3-story also.
It is, but it's a, do we have a render? It's a very small building.
I showed them this, I have the one that,
Here we go.
this information back from when we talked in July, but I know I'm sure it's changed slightly.
Here we go.
And that will house, originally it was housing your 3-bedroom apartment. Is it also still housing the 3-bedroom apartments?
No,
Okay.
let me make sure. I think it's housing, it's 3 units, but none of them, I think they're 2 bedrooms.
Okay, I think,
Past that.
like I said, a while,
Yes.
it was,
So all the
now we're doing 2.
3 bedrooms, and there are there's just a couple of them.
Yeah.
They're all located on the.
Pass this down so we can see what you're talking about. This over here.
Oh, there you go. Okay. So you'll have the 3 units on there, maybe on the top floor, you'll have your office and you'll have the childcare facility. Is that correct? Okay. So this is already zoned R3. The church and that property is not something we're talking about today. We're just talking about the property that is, which would be, I don't know West Columbia, and North 6th Street, which will house the rental office, the daycare, and 3 units.
Sorry for my lack of,
You're fine.
is this approved?
Is this approved?
This is approved.
It's already.
It's already
It's
on.
It doesn't
approved,
need to
yes,
change.
Yeah,
And so all we're looking at is
just the small
Merely
portion.
going
The
from R2
zoning aspect.
Correct.
to
We're not
R3.
talking about anything else other than the zoning. I know there's a lot of other up in the air, but just that small, yeah, just the zoning of it. Which it is R2. And if it was probably just 2 units over there, which are, I think originally, a year and a half ago, I think it was just 2 units. So I think there's just been a little, yeah, so they've just changed some things around. Yeah, you're good. Yeah. So I think now that's why it needs
I
to be
have
changed.
their full set of plans if anybody wants to see.
Ooh, I kind of do.
Put those down.
Cindy, right here, do you want to take a picture for us?
Those will be exhibits that'll be in my file,
And this is the building.
which will become the town's file.
Okay. I couldn't get your email to open up for me, so
The attachments or the email?
the attachments.
Okay.
Rendering on the outside.
So I don't know
of the
what that
building.
meant, but Joanne did it for me.
It's interesting.
Nice.
Can you bring that back
This
this
is the
way?
outside of the building, right?
Will that be at 206 North Columbia?
That's gonna fit on that wall.
I think that's correct.
Sounds right.
I believe so.
But it's not North Columbia.
East.
It'd be East Columbia.
Got you, all right.
I know it says North Columbia, but I live on Columbia, so. And I'm just gonna share, I actually lived at this place that we're talking about rezoning. When I first moved back to Attica many, many years ago, that was an apartment building at the time, and I rented that to Mrs. May, so
And that's a
just
parking lot.
trivia, but
We are talking about the parking lot. That is
yes,
presently a parking lot.
yes, yes.
Is there any grounds for opposition?
I think when we open it up, right?
Yeah, I mean, so they may, so you all ask questions that you want to ask them, we'll open it up and see anybody wants to speak in favor or against, and then you'll close that public part and do a motion to favorably, unfavorably, or no recommendation to the city council.
So it's a parking lot now?
That's what it is today.
And who uses that?
But
The church.
Yeah.
The church is.
Okay.
Or they have.
So it would already be part of that.
So does everybody understand what we're talking about? It's where the parking lot is for the church, across catty corner from where the church is. And it's just a matter of rezoning. They want to take it from a 2, which was 2 residents, up to a 3, which is an R3, which would be 3 or more. And they're proposing 3 units. And that's all we're talking about tonight, is just that rezoning from R2 to R3
Of the small parcel.
of the small parcel. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I don't know. There's nothing. You go right ahead.
I want to make sure we're all on the same page.
Is it you or me?
Um,
I guess, do we have any questions? Is that the main thing?
Open it up to is anyone here to speak about this application?
I'm opposed to it.
Can you stand up and state your name, please, just so we
My
can
name
get
is
your,
Kenneth Jordan,
okay?
and I live at 303 East Columbia, which is right next door to this building that they're proposing building.
He lives next to the church.
Church.
I live right next to the church, and they're gonna tear down a perfectly good church for, to build a 3-story tenement complex. And the neighborhood is R2 for a reason, and it should still be.
And I also have a letter from him.
Okay.
So I just want to
That
make sure.
should- yeah,
Yeah, I
that
just
should
want to
be
make sure you
read.
have that.
So I'm
Will the
gonna,
street support?
just 1 second, let me read Mr. Jordan's comments that he submitted, just because that's what the advertisement said, is it would be read into the record. It's dated November 3rd, 2025. I, Ken Jordan, and owner of of the property adjacent to the properties 301 North 6th Street and 206 North Columbia Street, Attica. Oppose the rezoning. I have concerns regarding the construction of a 3-story, 42-unit apartment building in my neighborhood. One of my concerns is the added traffic this will bring. This will also cause parking issues on streets that are already narrow. I have concerns with closing an existing and used alley to accommodate this building. I have concerns with the property values decreasing due to this building. There is a need for more housing in Attica. This is not the answer. Build 5 single-family homes on these 5 lots. Signed, Kenneth Jordan.
Yes.
Okay. And I interrupted you, ma'am. Go ahead.
I'm with him,
Can you state your name, please?
Emily Jordan Paddock.
And Ms. Haddock, what else are you just agreeing with his points, or did you have
I
something else?
agree, but I also live in the neighborhood of the street, but I also travel through that area consistently. Those streets are too narrow to be adding that many more vehicles to accommodate 40+ units. Not just the little building, and you're adding a daycare that's gonna provide more traffic into those areas. You can barely get through the streets as it is. Does that not concern anybody else? You're also closing an alley in an area that's been open for more than 50 years. This is not what this city needs.
It
You
definitely
need
needs housing.
You need housing, but you don't have to put them all on the same block. We have plenty of open lots around town. People don't move to small towns to live in an apartment complex on top of each other. People want single-family homes or smaller duplexes or whatever. They're not gonna move to Attica to rent an apartment complex.
Does anyone else want to address the
I have a
board?
question. So where the church is at right now, that's already R3, right?
Correct.
So they can go ahead and build the apartment complex there, right?
Correct.
So the other small lot is what we're talking about. Okay, I just want to make sure.
I oppose it all.
Is this a public daycare or just for the apartment?
Your name, ma'am?
Yeah,
please?
just
Oh, Barbara Keller,
I think that's a great question.
It is public.
public daycare. And that's not low income government housing, it's gonna be just, they set the rate, right?
We do. Now, we have something called a tax credit, but it's not a Section 8 or anything like that. The federal government's not involved.
And were you the ones that were at the school earlier in the year talking about the school?
No.
Okay.
Anyone else wish to? Yes, ma'am?
My name is Nisha Hansen, and I live directly across from where this is gonna go, and I just have some questions. For the daycare, is that gonna be like income-based, or is it just open to the public with a set rate? Because I know affordable childcare is needed in our area, but affordable is the problem.
So, and to be honest, I don't know the answer to your question. We're building the space for the daycare. We ultimately have to bring an operator to the daycare. We would love to offer some income-based childcare as well, and would be willing to have, to basically provide the space for free in order to bring that benefit to the community. But to be honest, we haven't sourced the operator yet. We've tried several people and we continue to work on it. It's a very small space, so it's a very small daycare.
Okay, so it would just be indoor facility, not
It
like
has a small
outdoor?
playground as well, but we're talking about the whole space, I think is only about 800 square feet inside.
Okay, is that space like fenced off, or is it like?
Correct.
Okay.
No, the daycare facility would have both inside space and then there would be a fence around the playground area.
Okay,
That
and
would
then
connect directly to it.
who are gonna live in these apartments? Like, is this just for people in our area, or is it going to be, like, we bring people in if there's not people living in them? Because like they said, we
So-
do have a housing need, but most of our people want like like more than 2 bedrooms.
So let me answer that question very legally, because I am subject to all kinds of fair housing rules and regulations, and I can't direct people where they can and cannot live. I will tell you statistically, everybody that lives in this apartment complex currently lives within 3 miles of this apartment complex. People, as somebody said a minute ago, somebody's not gonna come in from out of town to rent an apartment here. That's actually true. It really is designed to start momentum within a community. So somebody rents here, they either vacate, maybe it's a senior that's vacating a home that then can be sold to somebody else, or it's a new family that's just formed. And so the continuum of housing is a cycle. And so that's what this is designed to do.
Okay. There is a big hole with water over that way. Is that going to,
Currently, the plan is to, so the city has some rights there, and we have some rights as the landowner. I believe the current plan is to fence it off. We can't do much with it. I don't think we could cover it, because it's the access point to get to that pipe that, I guess, all the way to the river. So our idea was to fence it off and just make it safe.
okay, and then that corner is already hard to, like, they just put up the 4-ways there, but it's been an accident prone place that we've had accidents at. If having all of those cars all the way down the street there, like, is that gonna cause a problem with more accidents in that area? That street is very narrow. I drive a school bus, and to turn out of where I park my school bus on the side of the street, like, I'm in the grass a little bit because that road is narrow.
And it is, and I think the design has taken some of that into consideration about pushing the parking away from the corner. I know which corner you're talking about. We also do a lot of traffic slowing or traffic calming techniques within the structures of what we do. So, by extending the curb out on each side of the parking, providing, certain things that just make people cautious of where they are. But I don't disagree with you. I mean, it is certainly a tight site.
Okay, when this starts, like, is this like a 3 years out? Like, how, if this goes through, like, when is building supposed to start on this?
In the spring, we would actually start demolition in January.
Is this gonna cause any of our streets to be closed around there?
I don't anticipate that now.
Are we gonna have any water issues with piping to our houses, like, with all of this going on?
No, I mean, in terms of stormwater runoff and all of that, so that's all an engineering question, and that has been addressed. We are required to address it, quite honestly, so there shouldn't be any runoff issues.
Anyone else wish to address the planning commission?
How many parking spaces are planned? I could count them, but 35
35?
for 42 apartments?
Yes.
That's coming before the BZA. That's not for this.
Okay.
There's a petition that they filed to vary the parking requirements at their apartment, and that's set for December 3rd at 6 o'clock.
Did you have?
I'm Jerry Badgley. I live at 300 East Columbia Street, which is right there on the corner. My house faces both of those properties. I'm in favor of this. We need the housing. We need the daycare. Frankly, the church needs to sell the property. So I'm in favor of it.
Motion to close the public comments and consider this?
Nobody else? Do
Nobody else?
I moved.
we have a motion to close it?
You just made a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
I'm
I
sorry.
just have one comment. Can you speak up a little bit for us old people, please?
I'm sorry, Barb. Yes, yes.
So
I just moved to close the comment section.
that's the motion you're looking for. What- In favor, not in favor, or no recommendation to rezone?
Okay. So we're looking for favorable, unfavorable, or no recommendation, so that we are certifying that the city of Attica Common Council
Can you hear?
Or area plan, sorry, that the City of Attica Area Planning Commission and certifies it to the City of the Attica Common Council their recommendation relating to repurposing the rezoning and zoning map change for the Attica Apartments LP pursuant to a code with lots of numbers. So do anybody else have any questions, concerns? I know you had, I think maybe you had some questions. No?
Just,
You-
no.
Anybody?
So we're allowed to have dialogue, right?
Yes.
So is there anybody that opposes it from our side?
I do not oppose it.
I don't oppose it. I think that we do need it. I do understand the concerns that everybody has, but I do think that at some point we have to look at what we really need. And we really need housing
And daycare.
and more daycare always.
Well, I think it's because the church is already, that large lot is already zoned R3, that making the smaller lot R3 doesn't do a whole lot of
That's
change.
very true, yeah. Because we're talking about just the smaller lot, not the larger of the two.
Yeah, being the property's 100 feet away or so,
Right.
Yeah, right,
and it's already R2.
right.
So do I make a motion to, so I'll make a motion to make a favorable
Recommendation.
recommendation.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So you're making a favorable,
And then can you sign both of those and check the favorable
is it me
box?
or is it you? Is it
You're
me?
the president.
Okay.
Don't sign your name, don't sign your name.
I'm just making sure, listen. Both of them you said?
Yes, please. Thank you. That's the end of that
Don't
one.
care, sorry.
What's that? Oh, that's straight on that. The next one, you want to do the Hutton subdivision, Attica vacation rentals, or the amendment of the zoning code for permit fees.
Is anybody else here? I kind of want to ask if there's anybody else here, talking about, is anybody else here talking about
Any of those other three.
The Hutton subdivision, Attica vacation rentals, or the amendment of the zoning code for permit fees. Is there anyone here
I'm here
for?
with Attica Rentals, I'm not sure if Kyle is.
Yep.
Oh, here, here.
So you want to do mine last so I can recuse
Okay.
myself?
Yeah, that might be good,
Yeah,
yeah, let's do
yes.
that, okay,
Yes.
okay,
Why don't we knock out the amendment of the zoning code real fast?
perfect, yep.
So the next thing they're going to discuss is a proposed amendment to the zoning code that affects the fees charged for improvement location permits or building permits. And what prompted this is the city's engineer, the city has to pay its engineer to review building plans in certain cases, not like residential permits, not like that, but commercial in particular. And some communities increase their building permit fee to cover that cost so that the city isn't stuck paying it. And to the extent it's stuck, I realize it's development, but it's it increases the permit fees. Let me just read it here. It does two things. It talks about, it prohibits conflicts of interest, and there's not been a conflict of interest with the building commissioner, but the city is required to have a provision in its zoning code that prohibits conflicts of interest. And so that's what this is. And it says, it's the duty of the building commissioner as appointed by the mayor and approved by the common council to enforce the ordinance. The building commissioner shall receive applications required by this chapter and issue permits. He or she shall examine areas for which permits have been issued and shall make necessary inspection to see that the provisions of this ordinance are being upheld. He or she may be provided with assistance by the clerk treasurer and the city attorney. The building commissioner shall not engage in or have a pecuniary interest in any business of building construction, either directly or indirectly, which operates in the jurisdiction of the building commissioner. So it's not been an issue here, but we need this added to our code. That's one thing. And then more about the permit fees. No improvement location permit shall be issued for any building or structure which requires plan review by the Office of the Indiana Department of Homeland Security, Fire and Building Safety Division, until a copy of the design release, along with an electronic and/or hard copy of the full set of building plans, are submitted to the building commissioner. For buildings and structures which are not single-family residences or agricultural buildings as defined below, the applicant proposing to construct buildings or structures within city limits shall pay an engineering fee of $2,000 for preliminary review of the applicant's building plans, and the balance, with the balance refundable if not used, and an engineering fee of $3,000 for final review of the applicant's building plans, with the balance refundable if not used. Paragraph F, for buildings or structures which are not single-family residences or agricultural buildings as defined below, the applicant proposing to construct buildings or structures within the city's extraterritorial jurisdiction or a 2-mile fringe around outside the city limits, but less than 2 miles outside the city limits, shall pay an engineering fee of $2,500 instead of $2,000 for preliminary review of the applicant's building plans, with the balance refundable if not used, and an engineering fee of $3,500 for final review of the applicant's building plans, with the balance refundable if not used. And then finally, as used in this section, agricultural building means a structure principally utilized for the storage of machinery used for the purposes of crop production, for the shelter and feeding of livestock when not maintained in a confined feeding operation or dairy, or for the storage of grain produced only by the landowner and his or her family. Those are the proposed changes that were suggested on the city council side, and now they're coming to you to be initiated by the city council. It comes to you to decide whether to change to favorably, unfavorably, or no recommendation change the city zoning code.
What's the definition of used and unused?
It'll be, so the plans will go to the engineer, and the engineer is going to prepare a bill, and it has in past cases send the bill to the clerk treasurer, and those permit fees are going to be used to pay that bill, and anything not billed is going to go back to the applicant.
The big thing with it is basically like the stormwater, because now you have so much involvement with NDOT and IDEM. So say for instance, like this new knife shop that's went in out there, they require them, since it's on the highway, to have a retention pond. So there's a drainage standard that you have to go by. So our engineering firm has to basically put their stamp of approval on it, goes to the state. So the engineering firm has some time and energy invested in it. So right now, the way it works, a person may come in here and spend $130 to build, $500,000 facility. Well, we have to send the print to our engineering firm, and then they look at the 50-year drainage standard on it, get with NDOT and IDEM and either approve it or don't allow it to take place. Well, the time that the engineering firm has invested in it, we're getting billed for. So right now we lose money essentially whenever anything happens on one of the major highways.
And we
That's
did.
usually when it comes in.
We did. We got stuck with a bill. That was how much? A couple $1,000s.
And we don't get any
Yes.
taxes off that.
Yeah.
Because it's outside the city limits.
Mhm.
Which doesn't make sense.
So there's
So
no
like
way
the
to even
business.
recoup that money
Yeah.
over a long period of time.
So that was the reason for the change.
That's what's prompting this.
Yes.
So we don't get stuck with
Yes,
it.
so that we don't, because there's been a lot of commercial development that's happened here recently. And every time that it's happening, it's anywhere between $2,000 and $3,000 is what we're having to absorb.
Other questions?
One more, just the wording on that. So if it's the 22,000 and 3,000?
2,000 for the preliminary, 3,000 for the final.
So you add them together, or is it?
It's $5,000 for inside the city limits, $6,000 for outside the city limits. And whatever's not used for engineering fees is refundable.
Do we have to open that up? Do we?
We should, yes.
I think that what you guys are doing is good. My question is, let's say we have a unique situation that those engineering fees go beyond that 5,000 or go beyond that 6,000. We have nothing in place for that cost to go back on the developer. So would it, my thought is amend the motion or amend it that, anything in excess of that would be responsible of the permit, whoever's applying for the permit. If that makes sense. I mean, because you never know. I mean, because right now, yeah, we're safe for, that total of 5,000 inside city limits, 6,000 in the 2 mile infringement. Those costs go beyond that, we're still on the hook. Basically it's a deductible, you can look at it, but.
I agree, he's right about that. Just do it like an escrow, where put it in there and then if more's.
I don't know. I understand the concept. I don't know what the clerk treasurer's office bookkeeping is capable of. If they can segregate that and hold it until the bill comes in. And then when the bill comes in, pay it and return what's extra. I don't know how the bookkeeping works on that. But it shouldn't matter. It should be, if $5,000 came in and the 2 reviews were, $3,000, there should be a $2,000 check going back. Out of that money, so like not out of their general fund. I would expect not out of their general fund. I expect they would create a fund to hold fees. And what I don't know about, Kyle, is if it's not billed in the year that it's received, it would have to be a non-reverting fund, but that is kind of how I think of an application fee that's designed to cover the cost of engineering associated with the project. It would sit there until we know. And so at the end of the day, at the end of the permit, it'll be 0 again. But I don't know how, we would set up a special fund because this is a new fee. Or it may go in the building permit fee fund. As long as that's non-reverting, I'd have to take a look at that. But I know what you're saying, and I know you wouldn't want to use general fund money for refunds.
As long as it was transparent in that aspect, I wouldn't be opposed to it.
They're all public funds, and you should be able to see everything. And
I think it makes sense to have like maybe an amendment on that and say if cost exceeds the $6,000 or $5,000, the person requesting that will be liable for it.
You may be billed for, even if you don't ask for that money up front, I think you should have reserved the right to bill them the full cost if you don't have enough set aside.
Understand.
And so that could just be an amendment to this thing.
Yes.
And that might help in the future, so you don't have to keep redoing this every year, of inflation. So maybe next year, the standard fee is not gonna be $6,000 for outside, maybe it's gonna be 65, or maybe it's gonna be 7. And as long as that amendment is on there to pick that up, that saves us going back and doing this every 6 months or every year.
And it helps the developers because then there's no surprises.
They
what
know.
they're getting into.
They know.
That would be my only thing is you just got it like.
It's up front, it's a contract.
Well, but you can't hand somebody a $15,000 bill and they didn't see it coming either.
Right.
That's your first. Is this something you go ahead and pass without an amendment, or do we wait on that?
Can you make the amendment?
We would do that if that's how
Tonight.
a majority of you feel about it.
Yeah, I think that, I do.
Yeah.
Is
I think
there
it's a good idea.
a motion to?
The one last question. So just to clarify, money is put into for the permit. You would get was it HJC? Is that the HWC? So HWC would send a bill and that money's there and then anything is left over. So it's all it's billed directly from an engineer. Yeah, I'd be in favor.
So, and if it exceeds 5,000 in one case, 6,000 in the other case?
That's my only, I would want to come back and just, because, in one side, I want to go with inflation, so you don't have to sit here and but on the flip side, somebody had a wild hair and there's no restriction on some kind of engineering, that's a pretty open door to
But I think the city already has contracts right now when we're doing feasibility studies that's saying that the person wanting to do the development is going to be responsible for the feasibility study. It's not going to be us.
Well,
Otherwise, we get hooked into paying for feasibility studies that never take place.
well, so my thing, not Eric, I love you, it would not be you, but let's just say Eric goes, you know what? I want to see all this engineering here to see if this project, because let's say person X does not like this project. And now all of a sudden you wind up with a $15,000-$20,000 engineering bill and you're like, here, you have no cap. That's my only fear on
Then put
this.
a cap on it, up to.
But then I'm on the counter argument of if it's legit and now you have a complex situation where you have to do this elaborate drain or this and it's $10,000-$15,000, it should be. I just don't like open doors. That's all.
Then say, the builder or the developer will be responsible for additional fees up to and including $10,000 or whatever you want to put that limit at. You can still put that limit in there. But I think you need to have some flexibility in saying that the person requesting that is going to be responsible for it. And they're going to know that they're going to be responsible for it because they're going to sign off on that contract that you have that says you're going to be responsible for this fee up to $5,000. If it goes beyond that, you're going to be responsible for that up to whatever we decide on, $8,000 or $10,000.
Here would be my vote. I'd say we do the current structure. If it needs to be, if there's a problem where we get a big project or there's a pattern, we would revisit it. Anybody get opposed to that? Because you haven't broken the $5,000 mark yet. No.
That's fine, but I just think sometimes you need to take care of it and look for the future and not sit here and spend all your time doing coming back and coming back and coming back. I still believe in setting limits. I agree with you there.
So you're saying not to exceed and we'll come back to it later. Is that what you're saying, Cindy?
Yeah. Not to exceed $8,000. And if it goes over that, I think that's fair. And we probably won't even get to the 5,000 in some cases, right, Gary?
Correct. Depending on the size of the project.
I know.
Got a hand up.
It may be difficult to come back to it, Kyle, in the future. If somebody, Toyota decides to build a factory here and their bill is $50,000, it may be, we may be unable to come back and change this to recoup the $50,000.
So do we need to specify a dollar amount at all? Can we just say the developer or not the city is responsible for pay for these fees? We'll arrange for it, but you're paying for it. Rather, if don't hem ourselves in with dollar amounts that we have to revisit every year.
So how about in the event the engineering fee for preliminary review exceeds $2,000 or $2,500, the applicant will be billed unless the city council says otherwise. And for final review, $3,000 or $3,500, the applicant will be billed unless the city council determines otherwise.
I think that the reason we have this is because we're trying to contain costs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I like his idea. It is what it is. The cost is what it is. They're responsible for it. The city is not. And so I just, keep it simple, stupid, right? That's just my idea.
You say.
So it's not really Eric that's asking for this to be done. This is a state requirement, okay? So this isn't coming from Joe Blow up here on the city council or whoever. This is a state requirement. So couldn't you just say engineering fees as required by the state?
I'd be perfectly fine.
And then that takes it out of our hands. Anything that's required by the state, you're gonna pay for if it's your project.
And not pay in advance and hold, is that what you're saying?
No, because I think that you risk not getting the money. And then we're gonna be on the hook for paying HWC if you don't have the money up front, or at least some money up front to pay it. But I think the excess could be written so that anything above that that's required by the state, you're responsible for.
I'd be perfectly fine with that. I think that's a good,
We moved for that.
What
So
she
we'd
said.
like to change it, we would like to give a favorable recommendation based on the change being made of still collecting the fees, but anything above those that are required by the state, the company, the project would be taken care of on their end. They would be paying for it.
They would be responsible.
They would be
for it.
responsible.
Applicant will be billed.
That is my motion.
I'll second.
Okay,
in favor.
and then all in favor?
Aye.
So a favorable recommendation with that addition.
Yes.
Okay, so,
Do you want me to put, and you just keep it just the way that it is?
just keep that,
Okay.
and I've got how the ordinance would be worded.
Okay. All right, I'm keeping us moving. What's the next one?
It is you want to do the Hutton subdivision?
Yes.
Okay.
This Kyle
So-
needs to be last.
Who's here for the Hutton subdivision? So what this is, let me try and put it in a nutshell, and then I'll have you chime in, please. The Hutton subdivision is 2 parcels, and it's the urgent care place, and then where the AutoZone is going in. And last year, they recorded a survey that divided it into 2 parcels, but that subdivision didn't come through the planning commission to get approval. So they're coming back because they're dividing it. And they needed to transfer the real estate to AutoZone because they had construction crews ready to go. And so I said, well, just use the legal description of what you're calling Lot 2 for that deed, because you can transfer that and we'll go through this process of trying to determine whether they have met the subdivision requirements or not. And so they did. And they have sent plans and answered my questions about them.
Is this what you sent in the email? Is that what the- I just wanted to make sure.
And they're in the process of tracking down, you'll see blanks here for the certifications of like the surveyor and the developer. And we'll have some certifications to add to the city council will and the plan commission will. But now they're coming back through and they've got their survey and they've divided it into 2 lots. And they have the legal description of the 2 lots, and lot number 1 is lot number 1. No, lot number 1 is where the urgent care is. Lot number 2 is where the AutoZone is. And I'll pass these down. They show setbacks, things like that, but they're supposed to.
Did you basically get those in your email?
Yeah.
Can you shoot that down? There's 4 copies
Yep.
of the plat.
Yeah.
And now, why don't you give me your name and why don't you speak in support of the subdivision?
Yeah, my name's Tyler Thompson. I'm the land surveyor.
Gotcha. Okay.
I prepared the plat. Simple, our engineering department was handling the platting process and this slipped through the cracks apparently. So we're just ready to get it so they can create the second parcel on the plat for the AutoZone.
And so like there aren't any issues that anyone is aware of with regard to the urgent care and access off of 28 and what's the drive Gulf Ridge Drive. I assume that's been working fine because I haven't heard anything about it, but now there's going to be more access onto the AutoZone, into the AutoZone off of 28. They haven't changed any of the setbacks or anything like that. That hasn't been required or necessary, but do you have any questions for Tyler about his proposed subdivision into 2 lots from 1? Because what's going on here is the Fountain County recorder saw that deed referring to lot 2 and said, that hasn't been subdivided yet. You recorded a document that says subdivision, but it hasn't come through, which I appreciate that they're watching that. And that's how that got flagged. And so that was probably a couple of months ago-ish. when all this started. And so we kind of worked out a fix for getting AutoZone, their crew going, because I think they wanted to start imminently. And so we talked about it and decided that letting them use a legal description that is actually the legal description for lot number 2, but not calling it lot number 2 until you say it's lot number 2. That's kind of what's going on here.
Can you address again how the entrance is going to be off of 28 into your particular auto zone?
Lot 1 has access off of Gulf Ridge Drive,
Right.
and then there's an access off to 28 on Lot 2, and an access easement that crosses Lot 2, across Lot 1 back to Gulf Ridge Drive.
Okay, so you can actually enter off of 28 right to your place, correct?
Both of them, yes.
So he's the
Because
surveyor
Gulf
that
Ridge-
It's not his, he's just the surveyor. He just
who prepared that
Yeah.
plat.
Okay.
I can help. They're gonna use the same entrance that's there, Cindy. What's already there, then that driveway that goes up,
Mhm.
there'll be a cut there. So
Okay.
they're actually not cutting into the highway,
Right
they're just using the entrance.
This is the entrance, so they're gonna come in probably like right here, maybe where they're
Okay.
entering now.
Really nothing for us
Frontage
to,
road. Yeah.
do we have to, any?
Dotting
I
i's,
don't.
crossing t's.
Yeah.
If you have questions,
Well, I mean, is there anybody to speak to it other than him that we need to?
does anyone want to address the Hutton Attica subdivision plat that divides a parcel that includes the urgent care and the soon-to-be AutoZone store off of 28? Does anyone want to address the planning commission?
We'll make a motion to
Saying
accept.
that's semantics.
So
I mean,
on the motion to accept, let me have you tweak that just a little bit. So say that you found that there were deficiencies, you would say you can have preliminary approval, but you have to come back to get secondary approval and fix these deficiencies. If it's good to go in one fell swoop, you can give secondary or final plat approval so that it can move on, and then the city council is going to consider that as well. But there should be, so like things that you would look at on a subdivision is the use consistent with your comprehensive plan and your zoning code, and that fits. There isn't, I don't think there's anything to come back for, so maybe the motion should be to give preliminary and final approval to the subdivision, unless you want them to come back after they've done something.
I would say it's done. I mean, it's already there, so I'd make a motion to accept the preliminary and the final.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Okay, so I'm in the process of gathering the certifications that'll go with that,
Okay.
and I'll need that back, because I think that you've sent 4 copies, and I think I need to report 4 copies, then I'll return them to you. And Jeanette called me today and said she was tracking down one more certification.
They sent me theirs, it's the AutoZone certification, I have a photocopy of it.
I told her just to get it to me, and I'll get, because I gotta get some more certifications on our side, and then we'll get it recorded in the next week.
I don't have anything to sign with this one. right now.
Just the, 1 second here. Yeah.
I know you got a
Range
lot.
of force, huh?
You got a lot.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
There is a land surveyor certificate, a certificate of dedication by the owner, a certificate of approval from the planning commission.
I was like, whoa.
And then for the city council, a certificate of approval of final plat.
Denise is our secretary. She is not here.
That's mine. So they're-
Gotcha.
Is that correct? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Excellent.
And they're gonna get you the AutoZone original.
Okay, gotcha. All right, thank you.
Denise is not here. She's our secretary.
She's your secretary tonight.
Okay.
That works.
By the power of resident.
Yeah, I mean, it was just
That's fine.
ceremonial, just verifying her signature. I mean, anybody can do that. And.
It was just a plain touch secretary. That's the right.
Some secretary.
It's hard to get good help, isn't it?
So now that one's all done?
Yes.
Okay. Kyle, go away.
Okay. So, last hearing.
Are these pictures up here for us to look at?
Yes.
Okay, so to introduce this, this is Attica Vacation Rentals rezoning request. And they own a parcel that is on the west side of Perry Street and the south side of Sycamore. It's not the big area trailer park, it's across the street. It was zoned industrial, M1 or 2. And he's got representation here. I'll let him speak to what they're looking for. Thanks, Tyler.
Do you want to see the picture?
Gotcha. Thanks.
Yes, so, my name is Taylor Powell, I'm here representing Attica Vacation Rentals. They're looking to zone it to the, I think it's the west side, is that right? The west side there is currently I2 industrial. Looking to zone it to R3, for the purpose of some short-term rentals, their company, their other ventures. It's just the west parcel on that side. About 2.5 acres, so I'll let Kyle.
That's the property in front of like the grain bin area. That's the side I'm talking
So we
about.
own both sides.
Okay.
So there's, if you guys are familiar with that, like White House.
Yes,
Okay, that goes back to the other trailer parks behind us.
yes.
So we own the trailers that are being torn down on facing Perry and then on the side of the grain bins. So basically the east side is already zoned R3. We're just trying to match and put it in correct conformance.
How many units are you looking at?
We're trying to follow pretty much the same format that it was existing. So it'd be up to about 18 on that side.
On that one side?
Yeah.
Okay.
East. So I think in total between both sides, it's around 30, 32.
18 and the
18
14.
on the west side. That's all we're talking about today.
Can we pick out which one we like?
Yes. So those are just samples of what we're looking to do. Again, it's basically this, it would be everything from long-term residents to vacation rentals, employee housing.
So each would have an address.
Yes. Okay. So it's very similar to what was already there.
Yeah.
Yep.
So how wide are those, Kyle?
Anybody want to see pictures?
None of ours will be over 20 foot, so they'll all be 20 foot or less.
Wide?
Yes.
Are those like what you have? Did you just say that?
No, they're not quite the same. They're a little different.
A little smaller.
They would all be considered movable, so they will all be, but they're not mobile homes. They would be like a tiny home format.
What was their square footage? I didn't hear that. Ish?
We'll have to come back for a variance, but we're hoping to do 400 to just under 1,000 square foot. Varied floor plans. We're looking at about 4 different models.
Is there a percentage of how many are gonna be vacation and how many are gonna be residential?
No, we're trying to kind of transition, so we're not gonna build all 18 at one time. So we would look at probably putting about 5 to 10 out within the upcoming year, kind of sample it and see how it goes.
How does this fit in with our tiny home discussion that we had?
On both sides, you're talking?
You and I had talked about this because
So the
it's a little
west
bit-
side
we
would
talked
be,
about it being a little bit-
well, we would do both.
Yeah.
But the west side would be
Somebody's
that
like a
format,
trailer.
which is more of mobile,
Yes, but he's
like
saying
we would do
we're
blocks and concrete footers
Bob had
versus
talked
the
about, I guess,
east side would be
what was the
actually
width that we had said we
foundation
wanted?
based. Yeah.
What was the width we had said we wanted? Do you remember? 20. But he said 20 or less.
Less than 20 feet
Yes,
wide?
they'll all be less than 20 feet on the west side. So they'll all be built like conventional houses. So there's just some, we're working with the state because of it being an existing mobile home park. Just some different like rules in that, but they'll all be built out of conventional, lumber, just like a house. If you didn't pull off the bottom of it, you wouldn't even know the difference. So they'll be, we're shooting for nothing will be bigger than a 2-bedroom and a loft.
But Kyle, is it gonna look like a trailer from the front?
Now, if you look, they're all architectural, so they'll have,
This is cute. I like this.
Let me
so,
see.
it just.
I like this one.
So they'll all have like a family look, like, you know,
I guess you
they'll
guys-
all be similar, but with, so there's different architecture features. It's not like a shed, it'll have conventional joists, floors, all that kind of stuff. It'll actually be, I mean, you guys are familiar with what was there. I mean, it's substantially, I mean, they were built like homes. It'll be an improvement to that section.
But the way it stands now, there'd have to be a variance to that size.
Yes.
Mr. Keller?
Mr. Keller.
Mr. Keller.
Go ahead.
Who has a question? Yes, sir.
I have several questions, comments,
Start with your name, please,
basically
sir.
because I live across the street.
Mr. Keller.
Well, number one, I was surprised to find out that it was commercial and, I mean, heavy industrial. That ball was dropped a long time ago. Which makes me question how many other places in town is that way. But anyway, back to what Kyle was doing. Now, am I right? They're going to be basically buildings set on concrete slabs.
No, they
That
would
can be
be,
moved.
they are movable theoretically. They're not intended to be moved, but they are movable, to be transparent. Ours are gonna be, they would be either like, the trailers were on blocks. These would be like, concrete cylinders. So more permanent than that, but they're not on a foundation that side.
And my other question is, and I'm assuming that the board is already, is there a minimum square footage that can be built in the city of Attica?
Yes. Yes, without a variance.
And he's asking for a variance.
That's not tonight.
That's not tonight.
But I mean,
I think is it 800 square feet?
720.
720.
720.
However, we were in the process, so we are in the process of changing that to 1,000.
Also, the minimum lot size and the minimum setback from the sides of the lot.
Right.
And all those would be subject to a variance if the builder was asking for something other than what the standard is.
Then the other question, comment I had, I'm not, living across the street, I'm not really looking forward to 20 weekend party houses across from me. That is my big concern. But all of that said, Kyle owns it. I honestly believe he has the right to do whatever he wants to do with it, as long as it meets all the state, city, county ordinances and so. But I was really shocked to see that it was zoned.
Yeah. We are working on that too. We are working on looking at all the places in town that are zoned and changing them to their appropriate zoning. We just haven't got, that is the next goal. That's our next.
I've lived in Attica for 53 years now. I lived in Mobile Home Court when I first started, when I first moved here. And the mobile home, some of the homes he's demolishing were there long before I was ever moved in there 50 years ago. But I know that what's going to go in there is either going to directly or indirectly affect my home value, my property taxes. And it's going to be a lot more traffic, although I don't know how there could be. But that's my biggest concern is, 20 weekend party homes, basically.
I mean, I can never guarantee anything.
I know.
I mean, anybody would lie, but I mean, I would tell you, I live right there. My mom lives in our other homes. That's not typically our customer, really, or not. And again, it'll be mixed use. So, I mean, I have to be honest and say there's gonna be some Airbnbs, but it's also employee housing and will be open to the public. Our original plan was to have much more local rentals, But with the current situation, we don't know how that's gonna, the market's gonna change drastically with the amount of units coming in.
Will any of those homes be for sale?
There is a chance that we would be able to sell like a mobile home off, but that isn't our first choice yet. We're gonna retain ownership to most, if not all.
But that's basically my biggest concern is, party homes and as long as all the ordinances are met, I really don't have any objections because, like I said, I firmly believe he owns it. He can do what he wants to with it. And that's fine with me.
Thank you so much, Mr. Keller. I appreciate you. Yes.
I just have a quick question. I've never known it. We've lived in that 2-block area for the whole 53 years we've been here. Is that, in city limits? Is the trailer park in city limits?
Yes, up
It is
until,
in city
yeah.
limits. I've never even known that, so.
Will there be more units than there were trailers there?
I don't want to tell you more than one or two more. Most likely there'll be less. We're looking at a little wider spacing, so most likely it'll be less.
I don't have obviously names. I did have somebody reach out to someone else, to Denise, that basically said that she has heard several complaints from people who live near the old trailer courts who do not want cabins for the Badlands built near them. They want to protect the integrity of their property values. I did ask, people were okay with dilapidated trailers, but did not want new builds put on site. I did ask for that. So just to be fair. And the question was that they did not have the option with the trailers in
Like
there.
I said, whatever goes in there will either directly or indirectly affect our property values out there, depending on, what's there. I mean, if someone comes up on North Fifth Street and tears down 4 houses and builds a $2.5 million home, then that affects everybody around there. The same way here,
Tim, we have to hurry. We've got another meeting. You're on
I'm
that.
for this, and I just want to point something out to everybody. And I got this information from the state of Indiana on tourism. The Badlands off-road brings in 110,000 people in our area. Those visitors come here to ride, camp, eat, and explore our community based on statewide tourism data. The average visitor spends between $150 and $225 per trip, which apply that to the Attica visitor numbers, adds up between $16 and $25 million in spending every year tied directly to the outdoor recreation traffic. That spending supports our local hospitals, gas stations, shops, mechanics, hotels, and even our responders at major events. These aren't just park employees. This includes restaurant servers, retail clerks, campground staff, EMT. The local impact, the indirect revenue for them, according to the state, is around $400,000 to $600,000 a year that they pump in this in taxes. On the city level, we have the 1% food tax. From what the Badlands bring in, that alone is between $20,000 and $40,000 a year the city takes in from that 1%, just solely from people from the Badlands. That's money that we can use to help improve our city. Why this is important, it's an important matter because every zoning decision, every variance, every plan that supports tourism, recreation, and small business growth near the Badlands has a direct tie to our economic health. I know there's people in the community said, we don't like the Badlands. But point blank is, if it wasn't for Badlands and the people they bring in and the money they bring in, we'd be a lot worse off. And Kyle and his team, you can't ask for better neighbors. You know, if anybody's community minded. So I strongly suggest that the board pass this. In closing, it's something truly special. Destination attracts people from across the Midwest. Thank you for your time. And I have copies if you want. I also have data that where the majority of people are coming from. I got all this from the state tourism from Indiana. You'd be surprised. The average income of people coming here is between 110 and 170,000 household income. So this is something good for our community. Is there some bumps? Yes, but it's good.
I just want to say that, Madam President, I think we need to take a vote on this and be, cognizant of the next meeting that's supposed to start at 5:30.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, and we're
Can I ask a short
to
question?
change
No.
the,
Just to help, I'm really not trying to delay.
this is just strictly a zoning.
I understand, that's
Question.
what are you folks voting just on the west side of the road, or are you voting
That's all that we
also on the
have.
east side of the road?
Just the
Just the
red,
west.
just the
And
west.
and the reason you're not voting on the east side of the road is because it's already R3.
Yes,
Yes.
Here
yes.
is my question. The most current zoning map the city of Attica shows the east side of the road as suburban. It does not show it as R3. I want to make sure the map is incorrect and not you. Just like that.
I don't have that map with me, but I looked at it and I saw that it was on the east side R3 already.
I saw yellow.
And I'm thinking, I was looking at the 2013 zone map, the city zone map, but I'll check.
Here,
it.
Great big.
I thought it was suburban as well.
I don't see it in yellow.
Well, I'm supportive of the project. I hope it's already R3, but I just want to.
That's Main Street, you gotta find South Street.
Okay.
There's some more right here. Here's Booth
I would
Avenue.
change, just to say it's all one.
What year does that say at the bottom? 2013.
Yeah,
What
this
is it?
This is here.
Yep.
And
There's Sycamore, it's out here. Off of this, there's Booth Avenue, there's Kamala Drive. Yep, everything there is suburban.
Regardless, are we favorable, unfavorable, or no recommendation of the current zoning?
Favorable.
Are you making a motion, or are you asking for, see who everybody else is at favorable?
I guess I'm saying I'm favorable. What do you guys think? What'd you come up with looking at the map?
Looks suburban,
It's suburban.
According to this
according
map.
to this, but it's 2013.
We need an
Yeah.
updated one, because this is,
I don't think it's
I
changed.
second that motion.
We do, we do.
everybody favorable?
So Cindy made the motion.
I made the motion.
I'll second
Okay. All who are favorable, say aye.
Aye.
It's okay, you could say no.
No, I just,
You tripped up on this.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Because then that if the preliminary review was incorrect about what the zoning is, we need to include
The other portion,
the lots on both.
yeah.
But then that can be brought up at
But
another
that has to
meeting.
be advertised.
Okay.
It's not
There's
advertised,
no
so
public notice.
I think we move on what we had before us.
All right, do we have anything else?
No.
Do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
So moved.
Second, all in favor? Aye. Okay, great. We're gonna stop that recording. There is that one.